Have you ever felt stuck in your life? Not because of circumstances, but because of how you see yourself. Well, this video is for you because today we'll be talking about the third law of the 15 invaluable laws of growth by John Maxwell called the law of the mirror. You must see value in yourself to add value to yourself. Watch this. Marami po sa atin na feel po natin na na-stuck tayo because of how we see ourselves. Very important yan to others. Sabi ni Zig Ziglar, you cannot consistently perform in a manner that is inconsistent with the way you see yourself. Your self-image would lead you to the top of the stairway or put you on an escalator to the basement. Diba if you try to rate yourself from 0 to 10, 0 being not so good, 10 being excellent, nasaan ka doon as a human being? No, maraming tao they would say, oh, physically 7 ako, spiritually 6 ako, emotionally 8 ako. You know, they try to rank their goals according to areas of their lives. But Zig Ziglar said, actually, that's wrong. Because you could only rate yourself once as you. Who are you? 0 ka ba or 10 ka ba? Because if you see yourself as 7, then the value you'll add to others is only up to 7. But if you see yourself as 10, then you'll add value 10 times also because of the value of how you see yourself. So, ano mga steps na kailangan mong gawin to build that self-image? No? Number 1 is you have to guard your self-talk. No? Ano bang lumalabas sa bibig mo? Panay regrets ba yan? Panay sayang? Sana ganito? Or limiting beliefs ba yan na hindi ko kaya? Mahina lang talaga ako mag-English? Hindi ako marunong mag-lead? Or mahirap lang talaga ako? Hindi na ako yayaman? Guard your self-talk. Diba? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Kasi ibig sabihin yan yung laman ng puso mo. Stop comparing yourselves to others. The only person you can compare yourself to is yourself. Ibig sabihin, compare yourself from Dennis 2024 to Dennis 2025. Right? Kasi pag nag-compare ka na sa iba, tandaan mo, may mas magaling sa'yo, may mas maabilidad sa'yo, may mas gwapo sa'yo. So, talo ka talaga. No? The world is too big. Ibig sabihin, stop comparing yourself to others kasi it's a losing game. Move beyond your limiting beliefs. Sabi ni Charles Schwab, when a man has put a limit on what he will do, he has put a limit on what he can do. So, very important tong limiting belief. No? How can I change my limiting belief to an empowering belief? Number 1 is to identify the limiting belief, or I would call it the lie in your brain. No? Ano ba yung limiting belief that's telling you hindi mo kaya yan? Identify mo yon. Dapat alamin mo saan galing yon, at paano ito, which is step number 2, how has this affected me? Determine how those limiting beliefs limit you. No? Kasi dyan darating yung I cannot let that do that to me, that limiting belief do that to me. No? Kailangan kong gawa ng paraan to. Kung hindi, I won't grow this year. So, define the limiting belief, then see what the effect of that limiting belief is. And then third, replace it with the truth. If you're a Christian, replace it with the truth of how God sees you and how God empowered you. No, in Christ, you are somebody. No, yan yung framework ko sa Design Your Life, di ba? Framework number 1, step number 1 is really to know who you are, so that you can decide how you want to be, how to act, and how to feel because of how you see yourself now. If you see yourself as love, affirm, and able, then you'll act that way. You'll feel that way. Right? Pero if you see yourself as somebody na, ay, nako, hindi ko kaya, loser ako, mahirap lang ako, nahiya ako, baka mali na naman sabihin ko, may fear ka palagi, then, lalabas yan. Sabi nga nila, kung ano na sa puso mo, sisingaw din yan. Kahit na ano pang arte mo, it's just gonna come out. So, one of the best practices is to create a turnaround statement, or what I call flipping the script. No? Kung anong script na sa utak mo na limiting belief, i-flip mo lang yon, no? Pag sinabi mo, hindi ako magaling, sabi mo, magaling ako. Actually, may mga areas na magaling talaga ako. Hindi mo to binobola sa sarili mo, ha? Meron ka lang tamang awareness kung saan ka magaling, saan ka mahina. So, flip the script, no? Don't focus on your weakness, but focus on your strengths. Change the narrative in your brain. No? Kaya sabi sa Bible, di ba? But be transformed by the renewing of the mind. Because the battlefield is in the mind. No? Kung yung mind mo sinabi, hindi mo kaya, tapos ng laban, hindi mo na kaya yan. So, even how you act will always be limiting. No? So, change your story, then you change your life. Remember, you have to do the right thing, even if it's a hard thing. No? Sa mundo, pagdating sa area of growth, growth means there's pain. That's why there's growth pains. No? Kasi habang umaano yung muscles mo, gumagalaw, lumalaki, may mararamdaman kang pain. It's the same way with life. You really want to grow this year, then you'll experience pain. Embrace those pains because those pains are from God. Those pains are telling you, oh, you're actually growing, you're actually improving in this area. And what you can do is to practice a small discipline daily in a specific area of your life. So example, gusto ko magbasa ng libro to grow, then I read a book 15 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. I read my Bible 5 minutes a day. That's a small discipline that you do in a specific area of your life. You want to lead teams and manage teams, then manage a small team and tell your boss, can I supervise and manage this? Or maybe I can volunteer in church and manage some people. Or it might be, I want to improve in my communication skills, which means every lunch break, imbis na kumakain ako mag-isa, I'll be having lunch with somebody and learn how to talk to other people on a regular basis. And then I'm able to improve in this area or skill set that I want to grow in. Right? So, practice mo yung mga small discipline na yun. Ma-amaze ka kung anong mangyayari sa'yo. No? Embrace a positive vision for your life based on what you value. No, maging aspirational ka na. Maging inspirational ka sa sarili mo. Hindi mo ako kailangan para ma-inspire. You can talk to yourself. Yan yung law of the mirror. Paano mo nakita sarili mo? Kausapin mo yung mirror. Sabi mo, hindi, kaya mo yan. Di ba? Embrace that positive vision. Na I've embraced a very positive vision in my life that God is going to use me in spite of my limitations, in spite of what I cannot do. I flip the script and I say, Lord, marami akong pwedeng di gawin, pero Lord, binigyan mo rin ako ng skill, binigyan mo ako ng mindset na kaya ko gawin to. So now I embrace a vision of that. I visualize those things. And I say, Lord, you know, you've called me to preach to thousands of people. I'll do it. Lord, I see a vision of Makati being saturated with the love of God and the church really growing and impacting different areas of the city. Then I envision that and I rally people towards that vision. No, napaka-importante yun. Pero first, I need to believe in myself. Hindi ko pwede sabihin, naku, mahina, hindi mo kaya mga tao sa Makati. No. You have to see yourself as somebody who can actually speak to all kinds of people. That's me embracing a positive vision for my life based on what I value. Why? Because I value preaching the gospel. I value sharing Jesus to the world. So I have to see myself as speaking to somebody who might be ultra successful and somebody who's on the street. Bakit? Walang pinipili ang Diyos eh. Di ba? So nakita ko yon na may positive vision ako na kaya kong gawin to. No? Practice the one-word strategy. I asked my staff to do this in 2024. Ask the Lord for one word for 2025. So the word could be fearless, hungry, compassionate, faithful, diba? So our staff had those one words. Sabi ko, rally towards that one word that God has given you, right? And then take responsibility for your own life. Own it, no? Buhay mo yan eh, diba? Pag nag-grow ka, ikaw din, diba? Not only that, but not only do you grow, but you add value to people. In fact, it's never about you. Ito yung kagandahan dito, no? When you grow, yes, it benefits you, but growth is never about you. Kasi kung it's about you, yabang din ulit yan. So, meron ka na naman kailangan ayusin sa buhay mo. When you grow, you're saying, Lord, I want to be a blessing to others. That's why I want to do this. Right? Make a list of all your best qualities. Saan ka magaling? Ano ba yung mga qualities na meron ka? Magaling ka ba magsalita? Magaling ka ba sa tao? Magaling ka ba sa sales? Magaling ka ba sa admin work? Then list those best qualities and what do? Make affirmation statements. Kaya mo yan. Ganyan ka. Di ba? Misis ko minsan natatawa sa akin, tumitingin ako sa mirror, feeling niya nagpapagwapo ako. Hindi lang, ina-affirm ko lang yung sarili ko. Sabi kasi ng nanay ko, gwapo daw ako eh. So tumitingin din ako sa salamin. That's the law of the mirror. Buti nga wala pang nababasag na salamin. No? Have the affirmation statement. Read it every day till it gets to your soul. There's a lot of Christian affirmation verses for you. You can Google it or ChatGPT 10 affirmation statements and start reading it with those Bible verses and let that minister to your soul. Okay? Then keep track of your self-talk. Sabi ko nga, take captive every thought. Kulungin mo raw lahat ng thought. Take captive every thought. Make it obedient to Christ. Because our human thought will always be negative. We'll always look down on ourselves. No? Take captive that thought and make it obedient to Christ. You know, a good example of this would be, lagi ko ito nakikita, no? Lalo na sa atin sa Pilipinas. When we speak English, we'll always say, nag-nosebleed, ganyan. You know what you're doing? You're devaluing yourself. You're saying, I can not speak there. And so, nako-conscious ka sa grammar mo, lalo ka nagkakamali. Why? Because you don't see yourself improving on that craft. What you need to do is say, no, you know what? I can improve in that craft. I can speak to any kind of people. Hindi dahil Pilipino ako, hindi ako marunong mag-English. In fact, magaling tayo mag-English. Kailangan natin ang training. But that shouldn't stop us. Makita mo yung mga successful Japanese, Singaporeans. Mali-mali din grammar nila, pero believe sila, di ba? Nakikinig ka sa kanila. Bakit? Confident sila eh. Bakit? Mahal nila, una-una, mahal nila yung wika nila. Pangalawa, secondary language naman nila yung English eh. But I'm not saying huwag ka mag-aral, but have a good command of the English language. By how? Again, you go back to the small discipline. Reading a book every day would be good. Or conversing with other people in the English language would be a good practice for you. No? How much time do you spend daily focusing on others and adding value to them? Because yan yung gusto mong gawin. Every day I wake up, sabi ko nga dun sa libro ko, a framework in the Design Your Life is to wake up every day and solve problems. Because every time I get a problem and solve it, I add value to people. Right? God has called you to do that, to add value to people. Excited ako para sa inyo, guys. Look at the mirror. If it's always negative that you see, it's time for you to change that mirror. Bili ka ng bagong mirror, right? And see yourself as how God sees you. I want also to invite you, if you're a pastor, a minister, a campus missionary, meron po kaming coaching group sa mga pastors. No? Coaching the Pastor Group on my Facebook page. I'll put the link down below. But if you're not a pastor or a minister, go check out my YouTube. No? Subscribe ka na rin sa YouTube. Kung na-bless ka, please share this to your friends. This is something I do for free. It's out of passion that I do this. Again, this is also for growth so that I could learn how to speak in front of a camera. This is part of my learning curve of my growth for 2025. So thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and God bless you guys. See you again in our next video.